Welcome to the episode 4 and last one of this Build With Me series where I'm building the project management system for my agency from scratch. And I'm going to finish now with this video on Notion. I'm going to show you everything that I did. And then I'm going to also do a video on Airtable. I'm not going to be using it. I will explain in a bit. But I'm going to do one because I had a request for it. So I'm going to build it for one of the next videos. And you can see also how to do on Airtable. But let's get started with this one in Notion. Or actually, let's finish it. So last time I finished the video saying that I wanted to have one in Notion and one in Airtable where both would be integrated. So kind of like this. So this is the tree system that I'm using, but I don't want this to be connected. So they will not be connected at all. Well, maybe not. It will be like this, technically, if you want to actually be technical. So the clients will be sent to here. So we will know which client exists, but all the project management will be inside Notion and it will not talk with Airtable. So with that said, I'm going to show you what I did and the updates I did. So besides changing here the UI, so this was gray before and I can give it the color and I put in blue black background. What I did was just having the timeline here on top and then the projects and tasks. What I did was on the board of projects, no, not board, but on the table, I added this delay that I mentioned here that I was going to add. And the Airtable ID, this was when I was testing if I want to do this with Airtable and connect. I'm going to delete it because I'm not using Airtable for this anymore. I'm going to be doing the whole project management inside Notion. And then everything else is on Airtable. Well, what happens here is I had that I wanted to have the end date also as a formula, but actually if I have the end date as a formula, I will not be able to see it here and I will not be able to do calculations in the future. So I just put the completed date. Also, I tested if I had a formula for the completed date, and that would mean that as soon as the status would be done, it would show a formula with the dates like time and hour and day that it was completed. But it can happen that someone forgets to complete this on the project management board, and then the next day or some 2 days after they come here, or it's the weekend and we have to wait some days for someone to update this, we would have the wrong dates, and I don't want that. So I prefer it to be like this, so kind of manually. But the delay, what I did was once we put what's the completion, so let's say it was completed on the 31st in the future. We have here a formula that shows us that the delay is -6, meaning there was no delay, and actually we are 6 days on time. Like we did this 6 days before the due date. And you can see here that the due date is February 6th. And if, for example, I put the end date on the 8th, what happens is the delay was 2 days. So there was a 2-day delay. And this is just a simple formula on Notion. So what you do when you add a new field is you come here, you edit the property, and you see this edit formula. So you go see the formula, and what I have is if the completed date is not an empty string, so it means that if it's not empty, we have to calculate the date between the completed date and the due date in days. Otherwise, just leave it empty. So this is basically what this formula does. And for that to put all of these completed date and due date fields, you just go here and you click and it gets added, as you can see here. And then you save it and you will have the delay. If you want to have the delay in the opposite way, like if you want to say the delay, like 2 days delayed is a negative number, then you just switch, it's simple math, you just switch the due date with the complete date and the subtraction will be done on the other way around. So that's how you do the delay. I did the same for the tasks. So tasks have exactly the same way: due date, start date, completed date, and then the delay uses exactly the same formula, calculating, as you can see, the date between completed date, and due date in days. Same formula. And that's how I have this structure. Then I don't remember if on the previous video I already had these extra tables, but what I did was just adding here some filters where here the status is only to do and in progress. I don't show here projects that are done. For those, I have a tab for completed projects where the filter is status complete. Or I could just select done if I had more, but yeah, status complete. And that's how I'm just keeping track of this. I did this exactly the same for tasks. And then I just have here a board view or a gallery view. This one I created in the previous video, where it's just a board. We can move it from not started to in progress, etc. Same thing for tasks. The main one is the board, so that's the one that I want to see mainly, because we always move. We have a bunch of tasks that we want to move. And I also did the ones that are completed today, where the due date is either today or soon. But I didn't did, so this is what I want to happen, but I didn't do the formula. So how I will do that is the complete date has to be the past, no, actually I want this, so this, and I want the day. And so this would always be the one that was completed today. So that it's basically, I want to see, okay, today what tasks were completed, so that I have an overall view of the day for everyone that completed tasks. We can also do the same for a week, which actually I want. So I'm going to duplicate this one, completed, and I'm just going to call it completed this week. And I will probably do one for a month, maybe not. But for this week, I also want one. So what I'm going to do is here on the filter, instead of being today, we're going to put this week. All right, perfect. This is exactly what I want, say for everyone. So yeah, this is going to show tasks done this week, tasks done today. And actually, let me see if I did it. Yeah, exactly, completed date. And both of them have completed date. So yeah, this will show always the tasks that have here. Let's see, the completed date as, let's put here the 23. You will see them here. And also this week, of course. Okay, so that is perfect. That's exactly what I want. And then one extra thing that I did was, just here on the templates, I added a template for task name, where I just put, a little symbol and just a placeholder for task name. An extra thing that I added was a template for what this project is about. So this will always appear. Let's create see the new template here. Project name is a template, add it, and you can see here. So it always starts at not started, and it always starts at normal. I had this before, but I also added this one. So here to always write what this project is about every time we create a new project. And I have here already a database filtered with all the tasks. So this is the tasks database, and I filter for where the project column contains project name, and the project name refers to this template, like this page of the template. And so every single time a template gets created as a new page, these things get automatically created. Sometimes they can take a bit to load, even though there's not a lot of information, so it should be quick. And then, well, it will load. Once it loads, let me see if I reload it, it will be good. No. Well, it will load like this. And then once we add tasks here, they will automatically appear to the right project, as long as we just add the project here. And so that is super, super helpful. And it's just a way to automate it. So if we see it like this, everything is here perfectly. All right, so that is what I did. I already showed you the timeline on the previous video. The thing that I did, though, to be able to have here the clients, so in the projects, which client it's associated with is I created a separate table, like a new table for clients, because in the beginning I wanted to have the clients related to Airtable, and so I had to have some way to connect which client ID it is on Airtable. No more of that. I just created a table inside Notion where I keep clients, but I keep a very, very low level information of the clients, because I actually manage all the clients in Airtable. So what I want in Notion is just the company name, which status they have. So we have multiple status, they can be pending, which means they may still be onboarding. And if they are still onboarding, they wouldn't appear here. It's just here as default. And then they are either in the free implementation, which is one specific offer we do, where we do one task as the first of a bunch of other tasks for free. And then we do our normal paid stuff. And then we have active, when they are an active client and we are doing all the work with them. And then, of course, archived, when they are no longer a client and they have been offboarded. That's the status, and this comes from the Airtable status, just like company name. And then I also pass the name of the person of contact for this specific client and their email. And then I pass the Airtable ID to save it. And then that's it. I have here relations to the project, so that once we have a project, we can just add whatever client we want to that project. Now, here is where it gets interesting. We don't need to add these clients manually one by one from Airtable to Notion. What we do is we create an automation that every single time there's a new client, we transfer it from Airtable to Notion. And so what I have here, I'm not going to open because it has the webhook URL that I don't want you to see, but I'm going to show you exactly what happens. So if you're new to Make, what you would have is a module like this, like a bubble. It would be without anything. So you would see something like, let me show you, something like this. This is what you would see if you log into Make. And then you would click on it, you would choose webhook, custom webhook, and then you have to click on ads, and you give a name to it. In this case, you could give new clients in Airtable. And what this does is you would have an automation inside Airtable, which I will show in the next video. When I talk about Airtable, I will show all the automations with Airtable, etc. But you would have an automation that sends this webhook, a payload to this webhook. And what happens is this receives a payload every time you have a new client in Airtable. So every time I have a new client in Airtable based on some filters that I'm not going to go over because it's very specific to our own process, but every single time I want to consider a new client, we go check here with the router if the service type is free implementation or if it's anything else. So it does not contain the free word because we have a bunch of other project, subscription, retainer. We have a couple more different service types. And so what we do is, if it's free implementation, we create a database item. So both of them are the same type of module. We create a database item from inside the database of clients. So this database ID is this database ID here. Where is it? Here. So this is the database ID. And where is it? All right. And then we pass the company name. So this is the company name that we grab from Airtable. So this would all be empty. And you just go here, company name, grab it. Airtable ID would be, where is it? All right, where is the ID? Record ID, here it is. You'd grab record ID. Status, I put as free implementation because that's what we want inside Notion. Email and name, I just pass the email and the first name from the client in this case. I could add also the last name, but first name for me is enough on this. And then same thing for the others, I just put active in the progress. So as you can see, this is directly correlated to these columns that are here, actually not this one, these columns that are here in Notion. And that's how every single time we have a new client, it gets automatically added to the Notion clients table. And so there's no need to go there and do everything manually, so that we have the client ready for when we start doing projects inside Notion. And so that's how it works. That's how I set up Notion for this project management system. We're going to be using it this way. It's perfect. I don't want to also put Airtable on top of this because it's just not worth it. The use cases we're going to do, we're just going to do it in Notion. And in the future, if I do some updates with automations inside of it, I'll let you know. But for now, I want to keep it kind of simple. So that's it. My next video, I will show you, either my next one or the one after, I will show you how to do exactly the same thing, but in Airtable with the automations of Airtable and so on. So thank you very much for watching. Follow for more videos like this because I'm doing one video every single day for this month around how to improve and optimize business operations using AI, automation, and data. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.